And just take a moment, stamp it out. Sit nice and tall. Bring one hand on your belly when you're ready and one hand to the heart. And just maybe rock the torso a little bit so you can find where the tailbone is rooting down. The heart is lifting. Close the eyes and come back to that full yogic breath when you're ready. Breathing deep into the belly so you sense the breath stretch into that lowest palm and then all the way up into the heart. Maybe taking this moment of pause to come back to your intention as you breathe deeply in this way. Softening the shoulders, the head and neck are free of tension. And once more, taking a moment and just gratitude for this moment of giving back to the self. And giving back to ourselves with that fullness, that devotion, that love, and from that fullness that we give, we can receive that fullness back. Let your breath be nice and full. 2 more rounds. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes back into the space. Making sure we're sitting nice and level in our seats. We're going to inhale, bring those arms up. And as we exhale, we're twisting from our navel center. So making sure the hips stay nice and stable. Exhale as we twist over to that left side. And then letting the arms come down as supports wherever they can on the chair. Roll the shoulders up and back so the clavicles widen, and slowly, slowly working your gaze over that back left shoulder. Right, left shoulder, whatever shoulder it is. Whatever direction you're twisting towards. Inhale, grow a little taller. Exhale, see if you can really squeeze and perhaps twist just a bit more. Maybe tucking the chin ever so slightly. And on our next inhale, slowly bring our gaze back over the front and then unwind our torso. Inhale, sweep those arms up nice and high. Exhale, slowly working your way over to the other side. Bring the arms down once you get into that twist, just as a support, not to crank or pull. And then moving your gaze over that right shoulder. Again, roll the shoulders back and down. Maybe slightly tucking the chin toward the chest. And bringing our gaze back to the front of the room and slowly unwinding ourselves as we lift up nice and tall. Beautiful. We're going to go into our chair pose next. So I know we're in a chair, but we're going to do our fake chair pose, not actually seating. So we're going to bring ourselves up to standing. And then I'm just going to demonstrate from the side, but you can stay as you are, facing the front. So just walk your feet for a moment underneath your hips. So that way you find like your natural walking stance, which is about your hip width distance, which is usually where those little knobs are on the front of your hips. And you want your thighs to line up right in the center of that, because your femur heads, that's where they kind of sit inside the hip socket. Some people think hip width is like the outer, with the trochanter is. So we actually want to bring our feet, our ankles, more with the femur head of our thighs. Beautiful. So the outer edges of our feet are nice and parallel, and we're sitting up nice and tall. If we want, let's bring our hands to our back for a moment and just like rest them on your sacrum. Roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale as we lift our crowns, draw the rib cage in toward the spine. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our knees, and we can look down at our knees, making sure they track over our second and third toe. And then sensing our spine here, making sure we're not overly tucking to go there where that sacrum feels like it's rounding, or protruding or poking it back out where we feel like a hammock sort of in our lumbar spine. So you want it kind of nice and long. And then once you feel that, you can bring your arms out, You can bring them to prayer or stretch them up wherever you want to breathe today. And then keep breathing here. And you can add a little bounce if you like, just to keep that energy moving. And we're continuously breathing here, of course. And we're sensing, a lot of times here you can see like there's like this kind of thing happening with the chin. So draw the chin down toward the notch of the throat and kind of move the occipital bone, the back of the skull, back a little bit. Beautiful. Inhale, maybe sit a little bit deeper as you lift up through that Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. And as we exhale, slowly, slowly stamp into the feet, down into the earth as we rise. Beautiful. And shake it out a little bit. We're doing some strengthening stuff today. So we're going to do our planks with our chairs. So you can keep your chairs as they are, or you can bring them to the front. It's up to you. I'm just going to adjust my chair this way to demonstrate. So you can use it where your hands are on the seat of the chair, just not to block the view too much from Colin. I'm going to just keep the back of my chair here. But you're going to bring your hands to the chair, and you want to make sure you feel nice and supported here. And you want to keep that alignment of your shoulders above your wrists. Spread your palms out nice and wide, grip into the finger pads. And then you might just start by walking the feet back, and then you might just keep playing with walking the feet back. And then walking them back where you come onto your tippy toes. And then notice if your hips are kind of poking back, and see if you can roll the hips forward a little bit. And then hug the scapula in. And then make sure there's a little bend in your elbows. Just do the best you can here. Trying to sense yourself like a plank, a nice long line. From your heels reaching away from your crowns, and of course we're breathing here. And if it becomes too much, guess what we can do? We can just bend into those knees, send those hips back a moment, stretch the spine. So you can kind of play if you want to move that between that plank, inhaling into your plank, and then grounding those heels, bending your knees, sending those hips back, and releasing your head down. And you might play with that, or you might try to hold your plank for as long as you can, but listen to your body. If there's fatigue happening, you want to, take a break before that, because that's where injury can happen. Good. Maybe take one more breath if you're moving or you're just holding into that plank. And then on your next exhale, we will walk our feet in just a little bit, open them a little wider, bend those knees, ground those heels, send those hips back and up toward the sky. As long as you don't have a headache or glaucoma today, you can allow the head to release. If you do, just keep your head kind of looking up, your head above your heart here. And just keep breathing. You can wag your tail a little bit side to side, whatever feels good. Maybe give yourself some of those hums again, nice juicy hums to yourself. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Nice soft bend in the knees so you can sense those thigh bones reaching back, tailbone lifting up, arm bones hugging in so the heart space is expansive here. The side body is lengthening. And then when you're ready, soften in those elbows and those knees, walking the feet in toward the chair, slowly, slowly bringing ourselves upright. And we'll just take a moment to just bring the shoulders back on top of the hips and stand in Tadasana, that mountain pose, feet about hip width distance. And maybe bring our palms to our heart center in that Anjali mudra. Eyes can close once more. Take a couple deep breaths, just breathing in, observing the energy that you've built up inside, that sense of prana, life force flowing through. And then from this place, we'll gently open our eyes once more.